Pete teachers, and welcome to Forms. This video main objective is to show you the different capacities and basic tools for creating service using Forms. Now, Forms is a software used for different purposes: quizzes, answer sheets, practices, and other survey-like document that you can think of can be done using this free software present on Google Drive. To start using this software, we're going to go to the bottom Create, and we're going to look for the option that says Form. That one is going to open a secondary window that is going to take us to this small screen or initial screen where you can not only name your document but select an appearance for the created form. In our case, we're going to name it Example, and we're going to select the balloon theme. As you can tell, we cannot see the theme that we have just selected, and it's mainly because this is the editor. In case that you want to see the whole appearance or the appearance that we have just selected, we have to go to the View Live Form. Now, in the live form, you're going to see the appearance that we just selected, and you're also going to see the different questions in their final form. But because we have just started this, we're going to close it up and we're going to wrap it up. Now, it is important to mention that there is a slight difference between the name of the document or the name of the file and the heading. Now, in this case, we can just rename our document from Example to something different. We can just click on it and we're going to name it File. And our heading can be different. As you could see, once we name our document, the heading is going to have the exact same name, but we can always have a different heading from the name of the document. Now we're going to name this one Heading. The section of form description, it's pretty much secondary information that we want to add for our users to better understand what the document is all about. We're going to name this secondary information for you to learn. In this case, those are the three main elements that have to do with naming your document and showing your users something slightly different. As you can tell in the live form, we can just see the heading and we can see the secondary information that we just added. But enough with this. We're going to start working on the different questions and the working area that you have. As you can tell, you're always going to have a default question created for you, which is a multiple choice. Although that's not only the only type of question or element that you can add into your form. Formularies can have something as simple as the multiple choice question that we just seen, a text question, a paragraph text, multiple choice, checkboxes, a choose from a list, and other elements that go from videos to images. We're going to see a little bit of how do they look like and what are they used for. The first element that we're going to analyze is text. Text is pretty much a question where we can add a slight space for our users to write down information. Now this is intended for slightly smaller answers. They're just intended for very short pieces of text, and they're not intended for full big paragraphs. As you can tell, the space for it to have something written, it's pretty small, although it can hold on a lot of text. Nevertheless, it's not intended for us to have very long answers, so it's better for us not to select this option whenever we're trying to have a longer text. If you're going to have a paragraph, we can have the paragraph text. Now, paragraph text are done for creating longer questions and for the user to have the possibility and capacity to actually understand and see better what they're doing. Once we have clicked on done, you will see that the space is bigger, and even if you go to the live form, you will see that the space for us to answer it's bigger, and it's intended for us to have space and to view better what we're writing. Now, we can always change our questions or edit our questions by using the bottom edit. We can also duplicate them, meaning that we create an exact copy of what we just done, or we can delete those. These are the three main buttons that you're going to find in each and every one of the questions. But continuing with the different types of questions that we can have, we can just select the multiple choice, the ones that we saw before, or the one that we saw before. In this case, adding different options is as simple as clicking on the bottom that goes below or the bar that goes below. You can see that they're going to be formed, they're always present, and you can just select one of them. Now, if what you're thinking of is to have something where users can just select more than one answer, you can just go with checkboxes. Checkboxes will enable the user to select more than one answer at the time. Besides, if what you're looking for is just to have all the different answers, for them to choose only one, but not to see them every single time, or even to just give them the illusion that what they're answering is slightly shorter, you can just select the option choose from a list. By doing this, you're going to reduce the space of your formulary. People will believe that what they're doing is shorter, and you will give a better impression by just selecting one option and not having everything all the time available for them to see. The next type of question that you can select is scale. Now, scale will consist of the following: having two different extremes and labeling each one of the extremes for the user to better decide on whether they're on one extreme or the other, or if they're in a central point. Now, that one can start from 0 or 1, and it can go all the way up to 10. You can make your selection. In this case, we're just going to make it 3, we're going to name it good, and we're going to name this bad. The idea is just to show you how this thing looks, going from one extreme to the other. The final type of question that we're going to have is the option grid. Now, grid is pretty much what we know as a matching. We create rows and we create columns to give options to our users and to just match them with its corresponding criteria. Now, after finishing with this, we can see some of the other things that we can add, like date or time, but in this case, these are not question types. They're just only options where you can tell the user to select a certain type of date or a certain type of time. They don't necessarily have to use the one that it's current. They can just select a different date, and you can ask them for specific dates or times. Another feature that you can find over here and that you can see in this box is a section header. Once you have realized that you need another title or another heading, you can just use this feature. Besides, you can do your own description, but we're not going to do this. Just only looks in the following way. We're going to have a main heading, we can have a secondary heading, but they're going to be the same size and they'll have the same characteristics. You can also add a page break. Usually a page break is to indicate the document that we're going to start or that we're going to continue our survey into a new page. This basically works for the designer to give the users a break or to give the users space for them to have their work divided into sections. Again, we're going to insert a heading for a page 2, and we can make sure that our document is going to be looking different. As you can tell, we can just do our selection and we can continue to the second page. And well, you're going to have it over here. Now the heading is not going to vary because it's an element that it's part of the document as a whole. But we can always add a section header. Finally, we can add images and videos. To add an image, you only have to do a very simple process. It can be done in 3 different ways. One is to upload a picture. That means that if you have the image saved into your computer, you can just upload it using this tiny button. You look for it on your computer and you can save it. The other one will be to take a snapshot, which means that you can just plug in your webcam and take a snapshot. Make sure to always allow it. Finally, you can also do a URL. The URL means that you're going to get an image from the web and you're going to add it straight into your form. Now, for doing this process, you need to make sure that you have nothing but the image. That's usually done going to Google Images and looking for an option that says View Image or opening a new tab. By getting this link, you can just paste it over here where it says paste an image URL here, and that way you can just get the image that you were talking about. One of the final aspects is that you can get the albums or the images that you have on Google Drive and insert them right there. If you have images saved, you can always add them into your formulary. Last but not least, adding a video is as simple as getting the URL of a YouTube video or the URL from another video. In this case, all of the different videos that you have will have the possibility of just copying the URL, mainly by right-clicking and looking for the option that says copy URL. Or you can just go to the very top of the page, look for the URL where you have the video, and just paste it over there. Now, in terms to the very basics on how to construct a formulary, we're finished. Thank you.